Good morning. This is Chirag, and I'm pleased to present you my analysis of this unit. This presentation will examine how three key Victorian child safe standards can be effectively implemented within the early childhood education and care environments. I'll be drawing on current policy frameworks, academic research, and personal reflection to demonstrate how we as educators can integrate child safety and well-being into our everyday practice. The Victorian Child Safe Standards received significant updates in 2022 to enhance child protection measures. These 11 comprehensive standards are legally required across all Victorian organizations that work with children, including early childhood services. Their primary purpose is to prevent abuse, empower children, and create environments that are both culturally safe and inclusive. Today's presentation will focus on the specifically Standard 1, Standard 3, and Standard 5, each addressing different but interconnected aspects of child safety, which is governance structure, child empowerment, and equity practices. Firstly, let's start with standard number 1, which is leadership and governance. Standard 1 centers on ensuring that leadership actively prioritizes child's safety throughout the organization. This means that early childhood services must integrate child safety consideration into all policies, procedures, and daily practices. Leaders are expected to demonstrate respectful behavior, ensuring staff receive comprehensive ongoing training and actively monitor compliance with safety standards. This standard directly aligns with Quality Area 7 of the National Quality Framework, which recognizes effective leadership as a fundamental foundation of creating a safe and nurturing educational environment. Now let's talk about the implementation of this standard. In a practical early childhood settings, Standard 1 can be implemented through several strategic approaches. Services should develop child safety policies collaboratively with both staff and families to build shared responsibility and understanding. Staff members should participate in regular training sessions focused on recognizing signs of abuse and understanding appropriate response procedures. Appointing a dedicated child safety officer helps ensure consistent implementation and provides a clear contact of point for safety concerns. Regular safety checklists during staff meeting help maintain a safety-focused mindset throughout the team. Now let's take a look at the third standard, which is child empowerment. This standard acknowledges children are active participants in their own lives and experiences. It emphasizes the importance of respect, meaningful participation, and ensuring children have a genuine voice in the matters that affect them. This standard reflects the principles outlined in the UN Convention of Rights of Child and connect directly to the EYLF Outcome 1, which recognizes every child's right to express themselves freely and develop a strong sense of belonging and identity within their learning environment. Now let's take a look at the implementation of third standard. To effectively empower children in practice, educators should actively involve them in creating classroom agreements and utilize visual decision-making tools that support their participation. Children can contribute meaningfully to risk assessment through age-appropriate discussions about safety and well-being. Regular sharing times or voice circles ensure every child has the opportunity to express their thoughts and their feelings. These practices help children feel genuinely respected and heard, which strengthens their overall sense of safety and personal confidence. Now let's talk about Standard 5, which is diversity and equity. This standard emphasizes the critical importance of cultural inclusion and equity within the early childhood services. This includes developing deep understanding of the unique needs of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders children and the actively promoting cultural safety for all children and families. Respect for diversity must be clearly visible in programming decisions, communication practices, and daily routines. Families should be recognized as the genuine partners in creating and maintaining the inclusive practices throughout the service. Moving further to understanding how this standard can be implemented. To effectively embed Standard 5 within a service, educators should display inclusive signage in multiple languages. They should plan for cultural celebrations and events and incorporate diverse family stories into their programming. Embedding practices like acknowledgement of country into daily routines demonstrates respect and creates a sense of belonging for all children. Annual cultural safety audits help ensure services maintain ongoing attention to equity and inclusion practices. Now let's take a look at the barriers which come in the way of implementation. Despite the critical importance of these standards, many implementation challenges exist in real world settings. Some centers face funding limitation or lack of access to appropriate staff training opportunities. Others may encounter resistance from staff members who are comfortable with traditional methods and approaches. Cultural misunderstandings can impact relationships with families and communities. Overcoming these barriers requires strong leadership support, commitment to reflective practice, and ongoing professional development opportunities. Now let's look at the strategies which can be utilized to address these challenges. Several realistic strategies can help services overcome implementation challenges quite effectively. First of all, prioritizing professional development budgets for regular training opportunities. Secondly, creating supportive mentor system. And thirdly, encouraging regular reflective team meetings are all helpful approaches. Developing partnerships with local cultural groups can deepen authenticity and promote respectful inclusion practices. These strategies require commitment but can significantly improve the implementation outcomes. Now it's time for me to tell you about my personal reflection. Working with the child safe standards has significantly deepened my understanding of the children's right and reminded me of the importance ethical responsibilities we hold as early childhood educators. I feel inspired to actively promote safe, inclusive environments, and I am committed to continuing professional learning and reflection throughout my career. This ongoing commitment to growth and collaboration will help me better serve children and families in my future practice. Now let us conclude this presentation. In conclusion, this presentation has explored how Standard 1, Standard 3, and Standard 5 of the Victorian Child Safe Standards can be meaningfully implemented in early childhood settings. From strong leadership and policy clarity to actively listening to children and celebrating diverse identities, these standards guide us towards safer and more inclusive practices. Child safety is not a task we can complete once. It must become a thread that runs through all we do. It means embedding values of respect, trust, and responsiveness into every interaction, relationship, and decision. This is not only a legal obligation, but also a moral imperative. To genuinely action these standards, we must remain committed to learning, reflecting, and collaborating with children, families, and other colleagues. By doing so, we build communities where every child feels safe, heard, and valued. These are the resources that I used to create this presentation, and these were quite helpful. If you have any interest in these, please go through them one by one. Thank you for your attention today. I hope this presentation has provided useful insights into the implementing child safety standards in early childhood settings.